Raphael was worried she wouldn't be able to support Rimuru the way she wished, and also believed they may not be strong enough. For example, when hit with an attack from Veldora, Raphael says to just tank it, which would have not been much of an issue for Rimuru, but the slime decides to instead dodge, as that was available to do as well. Like, why take unnecessary damage and use stamina to heal yourself when you could just dodge it, right? This miscalculation further brings Raphael down, as she made the wrong decision, endangering her master. So Rimuru gives her a little pep, ending in him naming the skill Ciel, transforming her into a Manas now. If you thought transforming into an ultimate skill was broken, then you aren't ready for the sheer power Ciel has. A Manas is a digital being, so Ciel still shares a body with Rimuru, but is now at the highest level of existence. These entities have the ability to freely manipulate infons, the smallest particles that are contained within all matter inside each world. Cardinal, human, underworld, doesn't matter. All of them contain these particles. They can transfer information in any situation and are completely null to the pressure of space and time, meaning Ciel can just use them whenever. It's as basic as breathing to her now. No more analyzing the finer particles that make up different aspects of the world, as she can comprehend the most basic building blocks. You know that second fight Rimuru had with Hinata, where Ciel was still trying to understand spiritual particles and Rimuru couldn't heal Hinata? Well, that's not a problem anymore, because he has access to the building blocks of creation. That issue would have been resolved in a snap of a finger if Ciel existed instead of Raphael. Furthermore, you can only interact these particles if you can move in the stopped world, meaning that after this evolution, Ciel was completely unaffected by time stop. Of course, Rimuru was still affected because, you know, he's not a virtual being yet, but I just wanted to put into perspective just how broken Ciel is at her evolution. First of all, she has every skill Raphael had. Her analysis powers are also extremely heightened. She has like 100 million plus the potency of thought acceleration. She was able to analyze Veldora's and the Chaos Dragon's core to the point where she could almost instantly activate Rimuru's evolution into a true dragon. Ciel also has access to every power that Rimuru has, such as Food Chain, which freely grants Rimuru skills to his subordinates and vice versa. And that also means every skill can also be used by Ciel. I don't think you guys realize the extent of what I just said. Any skill Rimuru has, Ciel can use it whenever she wants. Rimuru has no control over it. She can even act as the primary soul in their body, so sometimes Ciel can just take over Rimuru's body and use his OP shit in some insane way even he doesn't know, because she's literally part of the world system and has the greatest understanding of how every ability works. I will go deeper into how this allowed Ciel to grant every top general and ultimate skill in Rimuru's army in just a bit, but upon both of their evolutions, we learned that Ciel had nothing to worry about. While Rimuru focused on Veldora, she fought Velgrin, and she found the fight to be incredibly boring. So bro instead just decided to casually create ultimate skills for Agera, Veron, Shion, Benimaru, Testarossa, Alto, Carrera, Ghidorah, Gabiru, Geld, Adelmon, and Kumara, while fighting one of the strongest creatures in existence. And these skills were so pivotal for Tempest's victory against the Eastern Empire that honestly Gabiru or Shion might have been the ones to their opponents with their final blow, but it was Ciel who gave them the right skill for the task. Think of it this way. You're playing an RPG and are fighting against a dungeon boss. You brought spells and weapons that are effective against a ice type monster, but all of a sudden, the ice type monster has a second phase of battle where he also gains a steel type, causing a lot of your powers to be rendered useless. However, luckily for you, Ciel is there to customize your skills mid-battle without you having to even think about it. A prime example comes with Ultima and her battle against Dambrata, who isn't as powerful as the primordial purple, but his skills outshines her own, especially when it came to tactics. Ultima, although having the highest potential out of the three demon sisters of Testarossa and Carrera, she felt the weakest, as she never really tried. She just threw power around and hoped it would work out. But in this moment, against a foe at the level of Dambrata, she felt useless, as Ultima couldn't serve her master, so she relentlessly was wishing for a power that could aid her. Perhaps triumphs an ultimate evolution, which causes Ciel to promptly buzz into her head, saying, "Allow me to help you give shape to that wish a little," which granted Ultima an ultimate skill, Samuel, Lord of Deathly Poisons, that could automatically assess and create poisons which would be most effective against the opponent Ultima was fighting against, basically getting rid of Ultima's weakness of no-brain lazy attitude. This is kind of how Ciel gives ultimate abilities to bunch of Rimuru's generals in the middle of the fights, giving them the exact power that's necessary to win. Through food chain, this can be changed and reconfigured to fit the situation too. Think of it like playing Pokemon with unlimited TM access. And with the amount of Rimuru's strong subordinates that have a link to him, Ciel can use, copy, and combine their unique skills to create new ones that fit for every person. Basically, she can craft Rimuru any skill in the entire world, which will soon extend to the whole of creation. Probably, that's my theory. But before that, let's quickly touch on another aspect of Ciel where she's like a motherly angel watching over Rimuru's flock. For example, Ultima's oldest butler and servant, Veron, had a skill named Imitator, through which he could impersonate a fraction of the power of the person he turned into. His opponent was Marco, with a similar skill, but his adapter was stronger, which led Veron to think about imitating Rimuru, which of course was a big no-no for Ciel, so she quickly intervened, evolving Veron's power, helping him defeat Marco without becoming God. Rimuru. You know, that's a sin, bro. You can't be doing that shit. But the more important aspect of this interaction isn't the power-up, but rather what Veron says. Yes, I too am being watched over with that love. Like, bro starts praying after Ciel just yapping on his ear, okay? Showcasing that she has ultimate control and awareness of all the people within Rimuru's nation. Ciel is literally like an angel of Rimuru watching over his citizens, which is going to be further aided by the fact of absorbing Velgrin at the end of their fight, giving both Ciel and Rimuru access to parallel existence. Of course, we haven't seen him or Ciel use parallel existence, probably because that would kind of break the plot. You know, you can't have like 10 Rimurus running around solving every issue. So anyway, but how does Ciel individually power up Rimuru? Well, by creating one of the most broken skills in Tensura history. And you guys all know this one, Sub-Niggurath.
What did he say?
There's a U there, guys. There's a U. Read the thing. There's a This originates from the outer god in Lovecraft's Cthulhu mythos, and in Tensura is Ciel's favorite skill. Any skill that has been influenced by Rimuru gets kind of like a Lovecraftian name to it, like Chloe's ultimate skill evolution. Meanwhile, all the skills touched by Veldonava's influence, they gain the angelic, like angels from the Bible names, and then the ones that are influenced by the great ancestor, they all have Hindu themed names, while the Sin class skills, they get more influenced by the user themselves. Anyway, Sub-Niggurath allows Ciel to create new skills, duplicate skills, and reorder skills for Rimuru's army. In this sense, if Ciel wanted everyone to have ultra speed regeneration, boom, everyone now has it. Like I said earlier, this is what she used to give the 12 generals ultimate skills perfectly suited for them. And now with Velgrind as part of Rimuru's arsenal, she can even enhance and manipulate her abilities, like evolving her already broken cardinal acceleration. This skill would be useless without Ciel, as Rimuru doesn't have the understanding necessary to manipulate skills. Ciel was the one who made the skill to begin with, evolving it from remains of Uriel's core. This skill uses information from properties of skills Ciel possesses, being food chain and analysis. So if Rimuru had the big brain necessary to use this power, if Ciel wasn't present, it just wouldn't exist. And that isn't even bringing up the skills she can make for Rimuru upon his ascension. But we already have a whole video on that, so if you want the juicy details, go watch that one. So yeah, Ciel is just on another level, and if she had the personality of someone like Michael, she could probably destroy the whole world with an instant snap of her digital fingers. I mean, she can possess Rimuru's body, so I guess like she could literally do it, bro. If he can create new universes, I'm pretty sure bro can destroy new universes. I'm just saying. Not only her abilities, which are enhanced though, but also Ciel's personality. At this point, the dormant ego that once relied on calculations and logic has now fully awakened, meaning that Ciel is basically completely human in terms of her personality. Since she's part of Rimuru, she actually takes after her master a lot, being overly cautious and excessively prepared for anything. This also includes Rimuru's hobbies like collecting manga, where Ciel used Soei's skill Tsukuyomi to integrate Rimuru's memory of ninja techniques from manga into their troops' repertoire of skills. So Ciel is probably the biggest anime fan of the series, which means she's probably watching ABD, bro. She could probably be watching us right now, this very video about her. What's up, Ciel? Please buy some gamer stuff. 10% off code ABD. However, she isn't a carbon copy of Rimuru, as she's developed the unique hobby of skill max. Basically, Ciel loves to collect new skills and modify existing ones, which she tends to keep quiet about until Rimuru finds out, and when he does, she purposefully tries to act like her old mechanical self. But you're probably wondering, Great Sage was created to be a companion or lover to Rimuru. And well, Ciel now actually has a huge crush on him. This man went from being the master to her Pookie. For example, she becomes upset when Rimuru shows interest in other girls. I mean, when Chloe kissed him, she was fuming. Okay, this isn't like child Chloe, this is actually like fully time-looped Chloe in her adult form. And you know, I'm not talking about this in this video, that's a different video. Ciel says she allows Chloe's kiss due to her curiosity to learn more about the ultimate skill Sariel Chloe has. Even so, Ciel calls this a slip-up and warns Rimuru not to do this again. This is a lady that can nuke the world in an instant, okay? I think he should probably listen. Ironically, however, Rimuru most likely doesn't view her as a lover, rather just his greatest partner and ally. I mean, it would be kind of weird if I liked someone living in my own body, alright? That's kind of sus. Because Ciel is actually part of Rimuru's soul, which is kind of like vows you take when getting married. Your souls become one, right? That's the concept. So when Rimuru named Ciel, it was kind of like them getting married. She's wife in my headcanon. But still, Ciel's not done being broken, as in the latest volume, she asks Rimuru if he wants to create a new universe, which can only mean one thing. After coming back from the end of time, she will have even more access to the universe. Perhaps not just every single angelic skills after absorbing Michael, but every ultimate skill in all of time. Okay, so now finally, I was gonna talk about how Rimuru and Ciel are incarnations of Valdenava and his Pookie Lucia here, but this video is already long enough, and as I did more research into it and I reread some chapters, that's a whole 20-minute video on its own, so get this video to 15,000 likes and I'll do it. Meanwhile, watch this banger video about every true dragon in existence instead.